When the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock, and you hear the kayak and the gobble of the strutting turkey cock. There's something kinda hearty-like about the autumn's fair when the heat of summer's over and the coolin' fall is here. Of course we miss the flowers and the blossoms on the trees and the mumble of the hummingbirds and the buzzin' of the bees. But the air's so appetizing and the landscape through the haze of a crisp and sunny morning of the early autumn days is a picture that no painter has the colorin' to mock. When the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock. James Whitcomb Riley, when he had the inspiration to pen this immortal poem, must have been touched by the soft pastel beauty along a mountain trail during autumn. When the blue sky of the hazeless, cool autumn days forms a backdrop for the dainty tints caused by Jack Frost paintbrush. The lowly cottonwood tree transforms itself from a tree of mediocre beauty into one of blazing glory. As the cool nights bring out their heavy coats of wool, the flocks seek the waning shade during midday. Lakes, once teeming with anglers, now blend into the colorful landscape. Of course we miss the flowers and the blossoms of the trees, as Mr. Riley said in his poem, but springtime never gave us the color of autumn. A hike or drive through the golden glow of the quaking aspen gives one a feeling of tranquility. The crisp, clear mountain air of the higher elevations is stimulating and invigorating, and its leaf-laden trails are a pleasure to traverse. Its fiery foliage is a fascination to, whoops, wrong slide. Rabbit brush lends its color to the low foliage of the autumn, especially as it forces its way up through the rough texture of an old wagon wheel. Autumn brings out the silken, silvery beauty of the lowly milkweed. Backlighted against the blue sky, it looks like an artistic creation from an old spinning wheel. As Mr. Riley said, the air so appetizing and the landscape through the haze of a crisp and sunny morning of the early autumn days is a picture that no painter has the colorin' to mock. Joyce Kilmer, in his poem Trees, expressed it thus: a tree that looks to God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray. I wonder if he had in mind her brightly colored leafy arms of autumn. He concludes his poem with this expressive stanza: poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. Especially one as colorful as those of autumn, when the air is crisp and clear. Autumn even brings added beauty to the arid desert. The rough texture of the little used gate seems to beckon us to open it and enter to explore the beauty of the autumn. A horseback ride along its colorful trails is a thrill. A pause to sip the cool, clear water is a delight. Then the old bridge spanning the brook beckons us to cross and to ascend to lofty heights. There to gaze speechlessly at the changing kaleidoscope of beauty that lies before us. It must have been a similar scene to this that inspired Mr. Riley when he said, "The husky, rusty rustle of the tassels of the corn, and the rasping of the tangled leaves as golden as the morn." Well, what's then's the times a feller is a feeling at his best, with the rising sun to greet him from a night of peaceful rest. As he leaves the house bareheaded and goes out to feed the stock, when the frost is on the punkin and the fodder's in the shock. He concludes his poem like this: "I don't know how to tell it, but if such a thing was true, as the angels wantin' boardin' and they'd call around on me, I'd want to accommodate 'em, all the whole enduring flock, when the frost is on the punkin and the fodder's in the shock." Of course, we would be foolish to argue that each season does not have its own distinctive beauty, such as the fresh, clean colors of spring, or the beauty of summer with its lazy, hazy days, or the cold white of winter. When the first snow blots out the blooms of summer, but I am sure we are safe to say that none have more color and brilliant beauty than autumn.